Yes. All right. Welcome back to Ipêcast. That's the second edition. So this is our space. I'm Jean Hansen. This is our space to talk about only good stuff, network states, startup cities, and tech-based governance. I think this is a good summary. And before introducing our special guest, a quick note about IP Village. I put the link here. It's a 1 month pop-up city on the islands of Florianopolis here in Brazil in April. So in the first edition, we brought hundreds of builders. Andre, our co-host, was there, and I'm pretty sure most of people watching here was there as well. We produced over 30 prototypes of tools and services for a crypto native city. This year, we want to go bigger, attracting maybe 400, 500 visitors and builders, and expand the city platform. We start with, we want to build more governance apps, healthcare, safety, education, commerce, and identity, and everything that a community needs to live using crypto and AI. So there will be three hacker houses: AI house, on-chain house, and privacy house. And one of the special prizes is 1 month, one free month at network school, which we are going to talk now. So without further ado, I want to first introduce my co-host, Andre. It's his first time here, co-founder of Weaver with Casta. So do you want to say hi, introduce yourself, Andre?
Sure, very briefly. Thank you, Jean, for inviting me. My name is André Frois, together with Casta, Rafael Castaneda. Most people watching here know him. We co-founded Weaver, and now I'm acting as CEO because Casta is working with Oxus Finance. Most of you know about that as well. But we are together here with Jean. I learned a lot with Jean. He opened doors for me for the network states movement. I was there at Ipêcast #1. It was an amazing experience. This was a stimulus for me to go all the way to Malaysia and also to stay a month in January at network school. And it was an amazing experience. So from now on, I just want to go deeper into this space. That's it. We founded Weaver. So we do education, communities, marketing, and development in Web3 and connect this all. So that's about me.
Nice, welcome, man. So without further ado, welcome Jackson. It's co-founder of Network School. Do you want to introduce yourself? Say hi.
Yeah, not co-founder, founding director, I guess is the technical title, but co-founder is reserved for Balaji and for Donovan. Good to see you boys again. I'm glad to see the two of you knowing each other and looking forward to the conversation.
Amazing. So I will share my experience of getting to network school. Was the first time it was like just the launching. It's pretty new. I didn't stay much, and then 1 year later I went there and it was like, oh my god. It seems like 5 years of work have been done, and it was amazing. A lot of people. So I think Network School now is like the first project, the first startup society. It's physical. There is a proper service for nomads and builders, entrepreneurs. So do you want to explain for those who didn't hear about Network School, what you are doing, what your services, how it works?
Sure. For the viewers at home, you can type in ns.com. I'll chat just if you want to see some visuals. But at the end of the day, we are a startup society for people who want to level up, for people who want to improve themselves. Our product is really a community product, but we think of our features as kind of a mix of programming, resources, facilities, and they're all designed to kind of help that person who wants to self-improve across a few different domains. So while some people go to Bali to eat, pray, love, people come to network school here in Forest City, Malaysia, to learn, burn, and earn, to learn skills, to burn calories, to earn capital. And so we have a mix of workshops and classes and just features across the board that supports that. But at the end of the day, network school is nothing without the network. We are the direct outcome of hundreds of people, actually now thousands, of people from over 100 countries who have come here for at least a month to give what they have to the community. And, you know, values is kind of an interesting conversation, but for us, the like kind of governing value on the day-to-day level of the community is to win and help win. And so there's this very positive sum, co-creative nature to everyone that comes in here, and everyone kind of comes and leaves it a little bit better than they found it, or they stay and they join our growing community of what we call long-termers, which are these folks who have now committed 12 months of living and growing here. So we have our normal program is like a month-to-month cohort-based model, which Andre just participated in January. And then for folks who really like it, they can choose to stay for a year.
Yeah, it's pretty good. And so it's network school. How the educational programs looks like? What you are planning?
Sure. Well, I'll speak to both what it is now and then also maybe directionally where right now we think of NS almost as like this platform where we provide core services, your accommodation, your food, your gym, your Wi-Fi, your co-working. And then we have kind of some core workshops. So first of all, we have 3 workout classes every day. The idea is, you know, you get up, you have this sort of daily loop of you have this morning high intensity interval training class, you eat a healthy breakfast that we've designed with Brian Johnson. And then there's maybe 1 or 2 flagship workshops that we try to have on a daily basis. And so this might be kind of breaking down the latest AI paper, or it could be a leadership class, or it could be, just really depends on the day. You know, the basics of transacting in crypto, and a number of other different things. But then there's a lot of other spare time where we try to empower the people that come here to lead their own workshops. So like if I'm just going to load up the calendar from today and I'll read off some examples of what's coming down. So yeah, there's Tai Chi tomorrow, decentralized education, which is like how to enable proof of learning. There's how to make jewelry with a 3D printer. Then we have tomorrow we have a physicist. His name is Stephen Su. He's a former lead genomics researcher, both in China and the US, and a former provost at Michigan State. So he's giving a special talk on AI and embryo selection in IVF. Then we have an intro to vibe coding class. We have a fashion and femininity chat in our ladies lounge. We have a carnival of running, which is like a big run, and then a series of Vipassana meditations and sailing. That's just tomorrow. And every day is different, right? Like we try to not be too prescriptive with the calendar, because in this way, each cohort is unique and people bring their own flavor, but there are some traditions that come and stick. So for example, we had this woman come in April, I believe, of last year, named Ollie. She led a workshop called Morning Pages, which was a twice a week writing accountability workshop. And it was awesome. When she was here, she was leading it really consistently. And then she left, and it sort of left with her. And then this other woman came, and she like had known this person. And so then she took it up, and then she kind of carried that mantle for a few months. And then right before Andre came, she left. And now we have another person who like I kind of told about this program, and now so she's carrying that. And so really each month is different, from music to math, from biotech to banking. It just varies. But there is generally a tech ethos that underscores a lot of the programming. I think people here, they come from a wide range of backgrounds, but generally believe that tech solves more problems than it creates. Certainly, you know, there are problems, but there's also lots of solutions that innovation makes happen. And so there's a lot of frontier skills that get taught here. And we try to prioritize a few of like the biggest opportunities. Like we make sure there's some level of intro to coding and just getting people's feet wet. We have intro to building apps, intro to DeFi. So those are the ones we sort of make happen. But yeah, there's 10 to 20 events per day, just based on what the community wants to host.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So it's the way I interpret that is network school is a combination, or it's on the intersection of like a regular city. So there's real infrastructure, there's places there, there's rooms or hotel and groceries.
Yeah, well, just to share more about like where we are, there's, for those who don't know, there's this Chinese company that about 15 years ago built an island called Forest City, Malaysia. And so like, this is my room. Those lights in the distance, well, not those, but right, yeah, those ones, that's Singapore. But we're in Malaysia. And so we kind of get the best of both worlds, where we have this well-made city that kind of has the capacity for us to scale into as we grow. We don't have to build our own campus. And you know, the water works and things run reasonably well. They break sometimes, but we fix them, and it's all good. And Singapore, downtown Singapore, is a 45-minute drive away. But we're in Malaysia, which is quite accessible to most of the world. 99% of the world can get in here with some kind of visa, especially a visa on arrival. And that's really important to us. Like, we want to be able to bring in talent from around the world, regardless of background. Especially, like, I'm from the U.S. right now. Our government is pretty, let's just say, anti-immigrant, to say the least. And you know, we want folks kind of regardless of where their country is. We care about, you know, meritocracy and like what they bring to the table, and that they're smart, kind, ambitious people. And it's really great being in Malaysia for that purpose. Malaysia is excited for, you know, a growing digital economy. They have a fast growing middle class. I've been here for about a year and a half now, and I've seen not just the evolution of Forest City, which is certainly growing, but also the broader Johor, Singapore special economic zone is experiencing a boom from all kinds of different reasons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So it's yeah.
I would like to share
just to close the saw is like the way I see is like a combination of a city, like a physical city, like Harvard and Y Combinator, because you have like not only the educational part, which is more decentralized and more tech focused, and also some incentives for builders and startups and grants and this kind of thing. So it's really a new thing. So, but sorry, go ahead, Andre.
Yeah, that's what I was going to talk about, because that was my experience over there. I arrived and I have been trying to learn about AI in the last 6 months. Of course, I was using AI all day long, but I wanted to learn more, trying to learn about vibe coding. And I was trying to learn that for 6 months. I went there, and in 1 month, in the end of the month, I had 7 projects in my GitHub, you know, and I was vibe coding all day long in my last days. So you are immersed there. People are doing what you want to learn, and you learn together with them. And they organize decentralized workshops about what they know. So the experience is really good. And you don't have to worry about cleaning your room. You don't have to worry about food. You don't have to worry about exercises. Everything is there. Even cleaning clothes is very easy. You just leave your bag there. Somebody will clean it for you. So it's very easy, and you can really focus on your work. And just to finish this idea, here in Brazil, we usually pay for this low quality graduate studies. You know, they are very expensive, and you just learn outdated stuff. With this money, you can buy a ticket to Malaysia, and you can stay 1 month there in a luxury hotel, and you can learn much more. So that was my experience, you know?
That's right. Thanks for sharing that, Andre. Yeah, I mean, our price point starts at $1,500 a month. We really do want to be accessible, and that's inclusive of everything that I've said so far. The product is society as a service, right? Like we handle all the inconveniences and nuisances so that you can just focus on whatever you want to focus on. And people come here with a lot of different goals, but that's why I say the self-improvement is kind of like the core thing that unites everyone. But yeah, some people might be connecting with others. Some people it's, yeah, like for Andre, right? A very good example of, he was surrounded by other people who were also trying to get into this and people who already knew. And so there was a good mix, I think, of people on his level and then people who could kind of like, oh, like I was where you were a month ago, like try this. And to the extent that, like, you know, I think, is it Tim Ferriss or someone says like you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Well, try living with 300 of them in, you know, like this condensed area that are all like really bringing all of this energy, and you can increase your surface area for luck just because, like, I mean, luck is still a thing in life, but by being around other creative, collaborative, energetic people, there's much more energy. Imagining, like, you know, if each person is like a particle bouncing around in a room, you're having a lot of these particles bounce around. The room is quite dense, and so there's a lot of heat and you know, things that can come from that. So yeah, I'm glad you were able to kind of get those projects started.
Yeah, definitely. You remove all friction and add these incentives to level up. So when my friends ask, like, if you want to learn and evolve and get fit, if you go to network school, you don't manage to do that. Like that, there's no other place that is going to be easier to get fit, because like there's a lot of people doing it. There's a lot of workshops and so on. One question that sorry?
That I was just saying, and the food's healthy too. Like, gym's out your front door. Like, you don't have an excuse. We've got trainers who will lead you through the classes. We've got, you know, sauna and cold plunge recovery as well. So it's about as easy as it gets. There's no commute.
Yeah, that's definitely. So someone like probably is listening, watching, and asking, okay, but why don't go to San Francisco instead, for example? Like, what are the difference? What are the benefits, the trade-offs?
Sure. I mean, personally, no shade against SF. Some of my best friends live there, but your money's going to go much further here. We're welcoming people from all around the world, right? Like, we're not pushing them away. We want you to come. So I would say those are the two things. Like, living in SF in a 1-bedroom, you're probably paying $3,000 to $4,000 just for your rent. You are paying another $1.5 to $3,000 for your food. You have to, you know, commute. Sometimes it's not always safe, whether it's because of cars or because of crime in the streets. So here we have this like really peaceful place. Like, I've been here the whole time, and I'm not aware of like a single safety incident that, you know, came from being in Forest City. It's, you know, there's kids running around. There's water. There's literally a water park just like on the shore. So it's very family friendly as well. And yeah, I mean, the SF is great too. You're not going to have a bad time, but NS, I think, is more accessible. We see a lot of people who will go to SF and raise around, and then they'll come here. So because, again, your runway just goes so much further, and also you have, you know, you're surrounded by this like really exciting community. So that's an option for some folks. And then some people come here because it's very cheap to hire in Malaysia. And, you know, we're starting to see these economic flywheels within the community. Not every single person here is a founder, right? Some of them are remote workers, marketers, engineers, sales executives. And so to the extent that you can come here and maybe hire some talent here, and then you're all working, now you can get an office also for cheap. Imagining, you know, again, comparing that to SF, there's just this huge arbitrage. And it's fun, you know, it's this special community. It's ready for you. You don't have to go find it. Of course, you know, there's sub communities. Not everyone wants to play basketball, for example, but we have basketball. We've got like actually sports is a huge part of the culture, which we don't talk about enough. But yeah, there's tons of sports and robotics clubs and just niche interest groups that are all ready there for you as well. So those are a few of the reasons.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I want to talk more about the technological side. So
Sure.
how do you see crypto and AI leveraging these new societies? Why is so crucial, so important to use it on these communities?
Yeah. Balaji likes to say AI makes everything fake, crypto makes it real again. We live in this world, like, I mean, we live in this attention economy where it's increasingly easy for folks to use AI to make things that are just very fake. But here, like, it's real because like there's no better proof of humanity than like in real life, person to person interaction. So every single member that comes through is, you know, we have a software product as well. And increasingly we have this like proof of human capacity. And we've talked about our state of education right now, but imagine, you know, a few years from now, you mentioned Harvard earlier. Harvard started as a one-room schoolhouse in Boston, or I guess in Cambridge. And we could, if we roll out like a more formal curriculum, we could have a training, you know, course. We could have a course that ends with a proctored in-person paper and pencil exam. And then when someone passes that exam, we can give them an NFT or even like a non-transferable token of some kind, so that on their NS profile, there is cryptographic proof that they passed this course in person. And so you could see some future world where, you know, with LinkedIn and Twitter now, it's so easy to fake yourself, fake who you are, fake your resume. Hiring, I think, is a nightmare. You know, we've figured out our own processes for doing like an in real life kind of exam, but for most companies out there, I feel for them because there's just so much fakeness. It's easy to use like a Cluely platform while you interview online, or you know, if you've given like a practice trial assignment, to just have Claude do it for you. Here, you can't fake that. Like we are here in person. There's no bots on our platform. And we can use crypto to certify like completion of certain tasks or courses. And so there's by just building, you know, a startup society from the ground up, we have this really powerful layer of information that we can use, and ways that we can verify people are who they say they are and can do what they say they can do.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the demand for that is going to grow a lot, because for me at least, everything that I see online, I assume that is fake, because now it's mostly bots and agents, and there's only two places to have be in touch with reality. So it's like the physical places and on chain. So the combination of both, that's something that we are trying to do at IP as well. In the first edition, we created this attestation layer where we don't only attest about like whole courses, but just small things, like just you build a tool, you complete like a challenge, or even qualitative things like, oh, you were able to endure some difficult process or challenge. Or so this combination of things will provide you the attributes to find opportunities, jobs, and more easily than just being online. So I'm totally agree with this approach.
Yeah, I mean, imagine again from the hiring perspective. Let's imagine some hypothetical medium term future where we have an engineering course, and it's kind of all the core components of becoming a top full stack engineer with AI and crypto, you know, skill sets too. If someone passes this hypothetical course and takes our in-person paper exam, there are a ton of companies out there that would love to have that vetted candidate interview for them. And so then, you know, I mentioned this economic flywheel thing earlier. Same thing, like, you know, there's almost like we could almost I don't know if we'll do this, but we could stack rank all of our course completers by like how well they performed on the test, and then the sort of like the companies that we want to prioritize get like their first pick in the NBA draft, or maybe we take the first pick in the draft, and then companies can have the pick of the litter after that. So it would just be good for like other companies too, and for innovation writ large, if there was vetted pools of talent out there.
Cool. I will hand the mic to Andre, but I have one more question. What people have been building there? Like, is there any project or startup that has already stood out in your opinion? I'm not listening. Oh, yep.
How's this?
Yep.
Great. Plenty of examples. So we've got this one guy who's building like an AI pendant. It's this necklace with a small camera that sees everything you eat and then auto logs your calories, right? And that's the first use case. That's really cool. A few hardware examples, right? We've got this guy he's building a hardware wallet and has like a little microscope and all sorts of tools, and he's got some cool real estate with his office, so you can see all of his hardware stuff. We've got, like quantum secure blockchains getting built here. We have a number of great like productized services businesses, like larger, video creation teams, software engineering as a service type teams, growth hacking companies. There's just lots of like good talent doing good design work for clients elsewhere. And then there's people building on the platform here, right? Like we have this longevity group that just sprung up this month. Andre, you would have liked it. It's probably our fastest growing platform company in that they have a massive community of like 150 people already in a few weeks, who all have continuous glucose monitors that they put here. And they provide a number of other services like blood work and some other stuff. It's 2 doctors that lead it. And they're getting like an ultrasound machine soon, I think. So that's really cool. There are like, there's this fitness brand as well that Mateusz leads. And so there's just a huge range. There's people who are going deep into the AI art kind of space. I personally, no promises, but I would love to have like an AI film festival here later in the year. I think that stuff's getting really good. And then there's a few other people who have some kind of very ambitious ideas, but I don't want to steal their thunder yet while they're building.
Perfect. Really cool. Yeah, I think that's the thing. It's changing so fast. So Network School Jean saw is much different than the one I saw. And when I hopefully come back soon, many things will have happened, right? But the thing I think we should discuss now is to do some connection with network states, because most people here read Balaji's book. But actually what I noticed is something very different, is that some people might imagine that there are lots of people there conspiring to do this network state, but actually it works like a company or a society as a service. So I would like us to discuss this difference of network state and network school. So what are the different proposals?
Sure. I would say like network school is to the network state in the same way that Chinatown is to China. We have, like when Balaji wrote the network state, there's a very technical definition of, there's like, I don't know, 7 or 8 or 10 parts to like qualify as a proper network state. And one of them is quite an ambitious one, is diplomatic sovereignty. So I don't know if that's us. I don't know if that's what we're doing here, but we are like an internet place. And in that the people who come here are these pro-peace, pro-trade, multicultural, pro-tech, innovators, builders, creators, founders. And like that's like an okay thing here. And we like that. And so that like value exists here, but we are yeah, our product is quite clear. Like we offer society as a service. We are very openly building in Malaysia, and not trying to do anything competitive with Malaysia. Malaysia is an amazing partner for us. But just like there's a Chinatown in New York that has Chinese restaurants and maybe like a Chinese archway. So here do we have that kind of like pro-internet culture. By the way, Andre, for any of the listeners who are watching, if they would like a free week, so 25% off a month, you could put the link that I just sent in the chat to maybe be the link on the bottom there, just because if anyone's interested, you might as well save some money if you want to come check it out. But yeah, that's ns.com/jxn/invite, and just get you 25% off. Andre, you also have your own link in your profile if you want to earn a free month. We have this kind of framework here that you can now live free and don't die. So if you are referring enough people to come here, yeah, thanks. Andre just updated the link. But Andre, for you, if you're referring people to come here, you can earn significant credit by doing that, and then stay for free and eat healthy and not die.
Perfect. Please, guys, use Jackson's invite link here. But if anyone wants to use mine, and I have been offering it to friends as well,
good.
so hopefully some people will go, and I will earn a free month.
Put it in the chat. Use Andre's. I just want to help the people get the 25% discount. Doesn't need to be from me.
Cool. And that's interesting because you cited the "Don't Die," Brian Johnson's usual important phrase, and that was something that surprised me as well, because as NS is building a society doesn't have only tech people. So I found there content creators, artists, and people that wanted to live there because it's cool and because they wanted to be healthy. So do you want to comment about this diversity that you are focusing there?
Yeah, I mean, I think the idea that we want to attract people who win and help win is not exclusive to tech at all. There are plenty of, like you said, creators, fitness trainers, builders, yogis, who I think would be quite happy here. It just makes sense for us, as we started, given Balaji's audience and given kind of where this space was, to start with tech, and often, the number one reason why people move is for economic opportunity. And so we do think it's important to kind of seed the community with founders at the beginning, such that they can kind of create more economic opportunity to hire people here. But yeah, society is so many people. It's the cooks, it's the PE coaches, it's it's Angie who leads the laundry service. There are so many roles, and there are many kinds of people who are here, provided they're the same, threshold level of kindness and in-person civility that, we require to maintain some sense of decorum and respect.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Do you have a next question? Yeah. Please.
Yeah. Well,
otherwise,
one thing. Well, I just want to do a quick note about that. I think one of the most important things about these startup societies is the ability to provide an experience, like show to people that it's possible. Because this is something that I learned, like some things are obvious for people, mostly for example, tech people, it's obvious that we should have like an app for the city, should be on chain, some things like this is obvious, and then you try to argue about that. But most people outside of the open source or the crypto or tech industry, they don't understand because they work in something else. So when you go to a place and you experience it firsthand, then you instantly change your mind. Oh, so it's like that. So it's way easier. So my city could be like that. So I will make pressure on the administration So I think that's one of the main takeaways from the famous book of Hirschman. Balaji also talks a lot, voice, exit, and loyalty, which is exit helps voice. It's one of the main things. So that's why I'm so bullish on this experiment.
Yeah. Well, and like abstracting away from just like NS or even in startup societies, like there's a fundamental opportunity in 2026 to reimagine how we live. And this opportunity didn't exist in the same capacity 15 years ago, because remote work, the internet, empowers people to live anywhere. And previously, most cities globally are organized around cars, right? Like we have this very and cars need a lot of space. Parking lots need a lot of space. And so cities are designed, in various ways to make it quite difficult to enable connection, to maximize serendipity. And so take all the tech stuff out of it, take all the geopolitics stuff out of it, just being able to like live near your friends and get to see them more easily is made possible by the fact that we can work in different ways, or like self-driving, right? Like if we don't have to park or store our cars, there could be cities built around self-driving. And so, yeah, I guess when Balaji talks about the exit, one of the things that I think is interesting is like just new cities need to try like new ground up design frameworks such that we can present new models to the rest of the world to be like, wow, like this is just a much more wholesome way to live. Like I get to see my family. I get to see my friends while I'm working. My girlfriend lives here, and I get to see her like throughout the day and not just, at the end of the day when I'm exhausted and low energy. And so just blending all of that is I think more harmonious way to live. And I'm excited for so many projects in that space. Like I would love to see, cities designed around biking. If we wanted to have like an Amsterdam in Southern California type experience, how cool would that be? And the nature of work changing enables us to, reimagine how we live.
Perfect. And going this way, Balaji always says that there are going to be 1,000 startup societies, right? And that's probably is the most advanced right now. But there will be 1,000. And there are many people, many listeners here that want and are working to create their own, like Jean and many others. If you can remember something, what would be the most surprising lesson learned in this way, or some interesting stories about the creation of NS that maybe can help in that? Do you remember some cool story?
I mean, definitely there have been many. I think I'm trying to think. Well, I should say that like, we originally did a 3-month pop-up that was only ever meant to be an experiment. We had no clear decision to like be building beyond those 3 months here or at all. So when we stopped the 3 month, when the 3 month concluded, we actually explored tons of sites both around the world, but also here in Malaysia that we could do. And it was just sort of quite serendipitous that we wound up choosing Forest City again anyways, because we just had this long series of like, I slept in cabins and people sort of just kind of slept in these fields off the side of highways to scout all of these different sites. I don't know, that's not really a particular story, but more just like this thing that happened. I think that if I were to, going back to like within the first 3 or 4 weeks, also, Gian, I didn't realize you were at our launch until Andre said it earlier in the conversation, but we launched on September 23rd, 2024 with the pop-up. And the day before we had the conference, I had I was pretty fresh to the team, and we had a series of buses leaving from Singapore to Malaysia the day after that conference. And when the conference ended, myself and like the other 8 or 9 people who were helping were all meant to carry this box of each one of us were going to carry a box of t-shirts so that we could have t-shirts on the next day. But Balaji kind of got mobbed by a bunch of people who all wanted to talk to him after the conference. And so Donovan just looked at me and he's like, oh no, figure it out. And so at like 8 p.m. on the night of the 22nd, I had to find a way to transport 500 t-shirts with, I also had my backpack with everything I owned with me and no space inside of it. And so I wound up hiding like 450 t-shirts in this convention center in Singapore and taking a box with whatever I could carry. Maybe it was like 100 of them. And I had to walk like a kilometer and a half with it. And I had to keep taking breaks because it was heavy. And so I kept like dropping it quite like violently because I was getting tired. And I realized too late that all of the dropping was causing the box to break. And right as I got on the escalator to go down into the subway in Singapore, the bottom of the box burst open and all of these t-shirts start like flying down the escalator, like hitting people in the ankles. I get to the bottom, I'm like on my hands and knees, like scraping t-shirts and sort of putting them off to the side. And, I wound up a security guard sort of like watched over my pile of t-shirts. And I went to a bunch of bathrooms and just like found spare plastic bags that I then used to put the t-shirts in and then carry a bunch of t-shirts. And I show up to our after party like super sweaty with only like 5% of the t-shirts. And then I just, went back at like 2 a.m. to get the rest of the t-shirts. And this time I brought reinforcements. But all that to say, like t-shirts are like a super simple thing, but we're dealing with the world of atoms. Like we're not just building software products. And so there's like really basic stuff that can go wrong, and being able to plan for these things, being able to sort of just in the moment do whatever you can to like solve the problem is pretty emblematic of how like, as the like ambition or the sort of, scale of a task has increased, the mentality stays the same. And we got the t-shirts in the end, but it took a while.
That's an amazing story.
Yeah.
So Jean, maybe you want to give a different direction to the conversation, but that was really cool.
Well, I'd like to ask you guys some questions. I'm curious, so prior to NS, I had done a bunch of other like co-living and pop-up type stuff, like going back to 2018. And these were like always pretty magical experiences, whether I was helping to organize or just an attendee. I think pop-ups are quite magical because of all of the connection that comes from it, but they also end and it's quite sad. And so that you have to say goodbye. And that's why for us, it became very important to reach a more permanent status. And I'm curious, Jean, to hear how you're thinking about your iterations with Ipe, like what's going to be different from last year to this year, and what's the sort of like 3 to 5 year goal. You're creating, I think, a lot of products that could support a more permanent situation, but what are the ambitions for a more permanent situation?
Yeah, that's a good question. So we are building a village in Florianopolis. So we are aiming to have a permanent hub there. We have already a few hacker houses renting. It's not owned yet, but the goal is to transform that region into a tech village. So that's what we are building. And cool. And the goal is not, it's a bit different from Network School, because my goal mainly is to transform the place into a governance lab, mostly. So we want to bring people to experiment with technology and launch tools and services, because I think we are still in that phase where people do you remember the era of iPhone, like 2007, 2000, until I think 2010, that people were like, or a bit earlier, where people like, oh, there will be only like 20, 30 apps. Is like, there's not
Sure.
We don't need like an app store. Even Steve Jobs, like Apple is going to build all apps that people need. And then we saw like the explosion of apps and different business model and so on and so forth. So I think in this realm, we are still in that phase. So people have very, very hard time to think and to just thinking new use cases for crypto in governance. So new ways to, for example, use AI and crypto to create laws or review laws or to govern a budget or to provide healthcare and create these economic models with tokens and share revenue of that place. I think there's so many things that is going to be built, and we want to provide that space for not only living and having like a space where you can just work and have the services provided, but where you can experiment and test with the community these new technologies. So that's mostly what we are trying to build here.
It's awesome. You may know him. We had someone here in our first pop-up named Mili from Finland. He
came here as well.
Yeah, he goes around just exploring pop-ups is kind of his thing, which is awesome. And if I weren't doing this, I'd probably be in his shoes. And yeah, he just had so many great things about Ipêcast City, about Florianopolis writ large. It sounds like a beautiful place. So I'd love to come check it out someday.
Yeah, you should come because it's an island, a combination of nature and beaches and all, and good infrastructure. Is pretty safe, but also is a tech hub and a crypto hub. It's not big yet, but it's growing a lot. So when I go, I don't live there yet, but I'm planning to move this year. Sure. When you go there, it's different. You feel the energy, and there's several events happening simultaneously, and all great builders and a lot of people that are who are digital nomads. So you speak English a lot. Brazil is not an English-speaking place, so you feel there is something there. There's an energy, and it's attracting a lot of talents and capital. So we want to invest in that place to build the village.
It's awesome. Andre, what are your plans for how you interact with these new ways of living? Do you see yourself roaming between pop-ups? Do you see yourself trying to find a permanent home? Or how do you think about, given your experience, attending some of these things, how you might change your framework on where you live the rest of your life?
Yeah, I mean, going to pop-ups is really cool. But I'm in a phase of my life where I need to work a lot. And that's why some routine and some things figured out for me are important, right? So when I went to NS, we had there the food, we had the place to live, we had everything figured out for us. So I could work like 12 hours a day, and that was easy, right? So I think this is really important. I think that going from pop-up to pop-up is fun. It's a lot of networking. But on the other side, you have lots of things to figure out. You need your hotel, you need to find a good restaurant, and also something very important, you need to be fit, but maybe there is not a place for you and a gym for you to go. So things become complicated. And that's why I think the ideal thing for me would be to live somewhere like NS and to go to 1 or 2 pop-ups a year. I think that would be a great life. And that would allow for a huge productivity and better life quality and health. So I think this would be a good balance for me.
That's great. Yeah, I think that we were talking about the just new way of life piece of this. There's so much here, right? Like we're integrating so many systems from so many different things that like even the awareness of these parallel societies, these parallel options, most people just it's not like the most digestible concept that can fit in like a 17-second Instagram reel or TikTok. But one kind of challenge I pose for all of us in this space is, how can we better communicate that these things even exist? Because I think the more that we can get people to try them, the more that I think people will expect more of their governments, expect more of their cities, and expect more of the places they live.
Yeah, definitely. I'm curious. We're heading to the end now, but I'm curious to see or to listen how AI has impacted, like, because the last few months was like crazy. Everything is changing. The power of AI is like incredible, and it's just getting better each week. So these have changed some strategies for you, or how you manage the startup. Have
Balaji has been all over it, right? Like he makes sure that our engineers are using like top of the line models, and there's a lot more like code review that our engineers are now doing, as opposed to just like writing a bunch of lines of code. And but like beyond just the engineers, like for myself or some of the other operators on the team, like it's a superpower. The ability that we have to scale ourselves. So here's an example that literally today. Now that we've kind of grown the team a little bit, we have some more capacity to just like make sure we're hosting a bunch of flagship events. And so we have like, for in March, we have a flagship event every single day. And I want to make sure those stand out from our normal calendar, because like I said, there's 10 to 20 events per day. I just want to make sure that the ones that we know are like really good for the community based on, a year plus of doing this, we highlight. So normally the way I would have, a year ago, how I might have done this is like within Canva or some kind of tool, like a design tool, I would try to make like a pretty calendar that has our brand and just put like little blocks on each of the calendars. Or, maybe I would use Google Calendar and just try to make it look nice. I don't know. I would like hack on a bunch of different things. Now I can just like make a list of the 30 Luma links, describe exactly the visual I want, put it in Gemini or Claude, and get like a really rich calendar image that now we give to everyone on their first day. And it's, it just saved me like, 6 hours today. This is very, very convenient, which then enables me to like, okay, like let's think about our content strategy a little bit. We should probably actually start doing some more there now that we have our like core things solved. So just lets us all do more with less. And of course, there's still some taste making there. We want to make sure that we're giving the right context to the prompt, that we're challenging its initial responses, and all the other best practices that I'm sure both of you are well versed in.
Cool. Any last question, Andre?
No, I think we should go. We should start with our last thoughts about it. But it was a very rich conversation, and I think that just to comment on what Jackson just said, I think that everybody who is listening to this, we are in the best shape to be leading this revolution. So everybody here should be using a lot of AI and being 10 times more productive, because that's the best time to do it, because very few people figured out how to do it. So let's go all in for that, and we will be more powerful to build the society we want.
Yeah, but one thing that I caution is like, so we have a few rules here increasingly as AI improves. No undisclosed public AI. So to the extent that you like people here write or create stuff online, you got to disclose if it's AI. We actually are super strict about AI in our applications. We can tell, like, we can tell. And if someone's using AI, it's pretty much an automatic no from us. That we do want like some authenticity. And then the other thing I'll say is that, like, I mean, this is what Balaji says, but it's true. AI is middle to middle. It's not end to end. There is that prompting and that context providing at the beginning, and the sort of taste making and refinement at the end that the human does to make it like a much more useful thing and not just like more slop. So, but yes, of course, we should use the tools that are available to us.
Yeah, I think in that direction, just to understand a bit more in depth, how the application process works, like what you are exactly looking for, what's the profile.
Yeah, I think I mentioned a little bit, but we want smart, kind, and ambitious people. And we try to discern that from a few things. One is like we have an open-ended essay question. This is the most important part of the application. You should write something genuine and personal and authentic to why you want to come here, and who you are and what your goals are. But then we also like to see some kind of evidence of what you've already been working on or what you've been up to. So maybe that's a social profile. Maybe if you're like a designer or a videographer, it's a portfolio. If you're a founder, maybe it's a link to your company. So we just kind of are trying to triangulate with folks. And, if there's some people that like we're on the fence about because maybe they seem like a great person, but there's just like a few strange things, we might do like a video call. But it's pretty straightforward. And then like we have a ton of demand right now. So if you don't hear back right away, and don't take it personally, you can always apply again. But there's all in due time, we'll get to those applications.
Yeah, like, do you have a policy to kick out people already? Because this time is coming.
Well, we do have a code of conduct, right? Like membership is at will. We do reserve the right to remove people at any given time if they break a rule or, create a lack of trust or safety. And we have a zero tolerance policy for any sort of bad behavior like that. That being said, like, we've had to remove a very small number of people, but we have had to do it. I've usually had to be the one doing it, and I don't enjoy it at all. But I am like pleasantly surprised with how infrequently we've needed to do it, especially just given that these are people from all over the internet coming in together in person. And, there's some risk there, but I think we've handled it pretty well so far. And yeah, if someone is not who they say they are, we will ask them to leave. But that doesn't really, I don't think that's really happened. That's like piece. So that's good.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's a society, and there's human problems, but once you attract the right people, this is just very, very small minorities, like very nice. Jackson, it was a very, very cool conversations. I'm planning to go there this year again, end of the year, probably close to the conference.
Yeah.
So everyone that's watching, if you want to have access to the discount, or maybe come to IP Village and win a prize to be there for 1 month. And 1 month you can meet a lot of people, you can transform your life. So that would be a great opportunity as well. But that's all. Thanks, Jackson. Thanks, Andre. It was a very, very nice conversation.
It was a pleasure, Jean. Hope to see you both again soon.
Thank you so much, guys, and thank you, Jackson.
Cheers.
Adios.
Bye-bye.